Pro and higher model. So it doesn't just have to be on the Pro, 15 Pro, but you can also add it on later on models as well if you wish. This is an additional way to access visual intelligence without having to use a camera control button. I'll have it available right here. What's really nice about this is that it'll add it as a single control. But if you drag the corner, the bottom right corner, you can actually make the control bigger so it actually visually says what that control is for and adjusts it according to your liking, which is beautiful. And now I can just tap in the surrounding area to go back, and anytime that I want to use visual intelligence on my device, I'll just gently swipe down from the top right, tap on visual intelligence, and it'll open up my visual intelligence camera.
Feature, I think it's like the 6.
If you have a 16 Pro and higher, and you want to access visual intelligence, the first way is a way to do it, but an easier way to quickly access is you want to tap and hold the camera control button. And I want to show you one thing. If you just press and hold it once, it's going to open up your actual camera. So you want to make sure you press and hold until your visual intelligence shows up, and it looks something like this. And the beauty of visual intelligence is that maybe you're walking down the street and you saw somebody's shoes and you really like them, but you don't have that time to chit chat and get to know them. What you could do is you could easily just capture a photo of those sneakers that you really, really like. And it'll give you answers and show you what it's about. Let's have my phone up on the wall so you can have a look. And once I capture that, I can either ask it a question or search the web. So let's search the web. And it's going to give me all the results from Google in regards to that sneaker. So what sneaker it is, where I can purchase it, and much, much more. If I have questions about that sneaker, I can always go back and ask. Tap the ask button and ask it any questions about that sneaker, and it'll use the help of ChatGPT to answer that question for me. That's one way to use it. Another way we can use visual intelligence is for things like creating an event calendar, or a calendar event, I would say. So let's say you're walking by and you see a poster of this classical concert in the park, and you don't want to go into your calendar, open it up, and manually put it and create an event calendar. What I can do is I can just capture the image, and it's going to use the help of Apple Intelligence. It will be my phone up for you right there. You'll see a pop-up show up right at the bottom saying, hey, do you want to add this event to your calendar? If I tap on that, it will automatically take all the information that's available on the poster and create that custom event calendar for me. If I want to make any edits and changes, I can tap on edit if I missed anything, or tap on create event and it'll add it to my calendar automatically without me having to do any manual labor, which is amazing. Let's look at another example, for example. Let's say I am, reading a really long novel or a paper, and I don't have the time to go over it. I have a very, very busy schedule, and I just want a summary of what's written. Once again, I can capture an image. Let's have my phone back on the wall for us. And voila, it gives me different options. So if I want to summarize the text, I can tap on summarize, or if I wanted to read it out to me, even better, right? So I don't need to do any of the manual labor once again. I can tap on summarize, and it'll give me a short summary of what the long text is about. And I want to show you another tip afterwards too. That was an enhancement that was added on iOS 26, is that you don't even need to capture if there's like a image behind the camera. You can actually just take screenshots on your phone and do the same things that we're talking about. And I'll show you this right after these examples. Now I have a short summary about the tourist shops with their consistent and unchanging nature. Evoke a sense of both repulsion and comfort. These places like Times Square and Niagara Falls exist their own time, seemingly unaffected by current trends. And voila, within a couple of moments I was able to figure out what this text was about. And I'll show you one more example with visual intelligence. Let's say I'm reading something, you're in a different country and you want to read a sign, you're reading a menu, and you want to know what it says. Once again, let's capture it. And it'll live translate it for me, right on my phone. Once again, that pop-up will show up and automatically indicate, hey, I think this is what you want to do. So I'll tap on translate. You can see it's giving me a citric delight recipe, and it's giving me step-by-step instructions on how to do so. So truly, the possibilities are endless when it comes with visual intelligence. Let's take it a step further. Let's say, I've had a long day at work and I have a fridge filled up with food and I don't know what I want to make for dinner. And I'm not very creative. Some people can just see all the ingredients and scoop up something very, very good. I'm not like that. I need to have all the ingredients and make it. So with visual intelligence, I can make my life a little bit easier. So I can take a picture of my fridge and I can ask it, what recipes can I make with the food in my fridge? And I'll send it off, and it's going to use the help of Apple Intelligence, ChatGPT integration to create custom meals for me that I can make with the food that's available in my fridge. So now I can either make a vegetable stir fry, omelet with veggies, fresh salad, fruit salad, or even sandwiches. And if I type it in, hey, give me a full recipe for a vegetable stir fry, I can say, can you give me the recipe for vegetable stir fry? It'll actually create a custom recipe for me for that vegetable stir fry, and I didn't have to do any of the work. So I have all the ingredients and all the instructions on how to create that recipe, which is very, very cool. Once again, the possibilities with visual intelligence are amazing, and we're not even sometimes aware of what our phone and devices are able to do. Let's say we're doing something on our devices. Let's maybe go to the Apple Store Paris website. Let's say we're visiting Apple Store Paris, but of course, everything is going to be in French. And let's say we want to visit one of the sessions there, or whatever this is, and I don't know what it says. I don't know French. I'm not really good at it, even though I was born in Montreal. What I can do is I can take a screenshot of this page. And how we take a screenshot is we tap on the on and off button and the volume up. I'll take that screenshot, and visual intelligence will pop up again. And this was a new feature added with iOS 26. So I can translate the text, summarize the text, take me directly to the web page, even send me directions to how to go there. And if there was a time and place and everything, it would make a calendar event as well. So there's so many possibilities. Whatever information it can gather from that page, it will give you different options to choose from depending on what your needs are. So once again, it doesn't have to be something behind the camera. It could be just a snapshot of something on your device, which is amazing. All right, that was a lot of information to cover under visual intelligence, but hopefully you're able to utilize this tool to your best advantage to make life a little bit more efficient and easier. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is Genmoji, or creating images. And there's multiple ways to create images on iPhone. One way is through Genmoji, another way is through Image Playground, Cleanup, and lastly, Image Wand. And they're all very similar, but they play different parts of the whole picture. Genmoji, you can create custom emojis and bring yourself to life and make it very curated and personal. With Image Playground, we take it a step further and bring our creativity to life. With Image Wand, we can bring our creativity to life. And lastly, Cleanup is take existing photos and remove any distractions from them. So let's get started with the first example, which is Cleanup. So let's say we're on vacation, we took a couple of pictures, or you took a photo and there's people in the background or distractions that you want to remove, and you don't have those Photoshop skills. Well, now it's very, very easy with Apple Intelligence. And let me show you how. Let's go into our Photos app and find a photo that we want to remove a distraction out of, or a person out of. I'm going to search up a photo of my dog. Let's say this one right here. Beautiful. Beautiful photo of my dog at the park. But you can see I captured that lady in the back with her bicycle, and I don't want her. I want a very clean image with the focus just to be on my dog. Well, let's use Cleanup to fix that. And how we're going to do that is we're going to tap on the edit button at the bottom of our screen. It looks like the 3 sliders. I'll tap on that, and then a menu bar will show up at the bottom. Once that menu bar shows up, we're going to tap on the Cleanup option at the far right that looks like an eraser. Once we tap that, if it's your first time using it, you want to give it a couple of moments for it to load and download. That's completely normal. But once it is, one of two things will happen. All right? Either your phone will automatically detect that distraction and it'll start glowing, just like this one right here. And once it does that, you can just tap on it to remove it. So I'll just tap on the lady with the bicycle to remove it. And voila, like she was never there. No skills needed. Everything is done for you. And the beauty of using cleanup on iPhone is that it fills in the photo. So it's very seamless. It doesn't look like she was ever there. The second option is, maybe it doesn't start glowing, but you want to remove that object or that distraction. You can manually go in and remove it by either brushing on it or circling it. So let's say I want to remove the dog from the photo as well. I'll just circle very briefly around the dog. He'll start glowing and voila, like he was never there. Beautiful, right? Very, very simple steps to create something new. And it's okay if you play around with it and make mistakes. I would encourage, playing around with it and testing out the cleanup tool, because photos and edits on iPhone are irreversible. Or reversible, I would say, not irreversible, reversible. So no matter how many edits you make, you can always go back to the original photo. You can either just go back by tapping on the arrow at the top left to go a step back, or if you want to completely reset your image to the original photo, just tap on the reset button at the top and we'll go back to the original photo. If I make any edits and tap done to save, let's tap that, and I'm like, oh, you know what, maybe I want that lady back in the photo, I can go back to the editing mode, and now there'll be a revert button at the top right. And this will allow me to go back to the original photo. So all the edits will be canceled and I'll go back to the original photo. So that once again, that's the beauty of editing on iPhone. All the changes are reversible. All right, so let's move on to the next topic, which is Genmoji. This is one of my favorite ones because we get really, creative with it. We express ourselves in so many different ways, especially using emojis in our text messages when we're texting friends, family, and etc. And sometimes you're in that situation where you can't find that perfect emoji to express yourself. Well, with Genmoji now you can, because you can create custom emojis. It doesn't have to be just random custom emojis. You can actually bring yourself and friends and family to life with those emojis as well, which is the fun part. So we'll do one regular emoji and then we'll bring one of our friends in to create a custom emoji. And for this example, we're going to open up our Messages app, which is the green app with a text bubble. And if you have any text messages that you want to use, you can go ahead and use them, but since I don't have any, I'm going to compose a new message by tapping on the square with a pencil at the bottom right corner. And from here, my keyboard will pop up, and on top of the keyboard, there will be a plus sign or plus button at the top left. I'm going to tap on that plus button. This is going to open up a menu bar. And from here, I can do many, many different things, but we're going to focus on Genmoji for now. So I'll tap on Genmoji, and this is going to open up our Genmoji world, where we can create and customize our emoji. So let's say I want to make an emoji. What's my favorite animal? Flamingo. Flamingos are pink, but let's say I want to make a blue flamingo wearing a hat. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to type it into the Describe Your Genmoji section right there. So blue flamingo wearing a hat, and I'll send that off. And now it's going to do its magic and try to create that custom flamingo for me wearing a hat. It's very cool, right? Very cute. And maybe the first option is not your favorite option. That's completely okay, because there's multiple different options to choose from. You can swipe through the different options. You can see, oh, there's a hat with a bow. That's kind of cute as well. Oh, I really like the feather. Once you find an emoji that you like, you can tap on the check mark, the blue check mark at the top right. And now you can save it and send it to family and friends, make it into a sticker, and much more. And if I want to refer back to it, you'll see it right here, your recently saved. And if you want to use it again, it'll be right there. So let's create another one. I'm going to tap on that plus button again, go on your Genmoji. And I'm going to use one of my friends. So you might have suggestions of friends, or you can tap the person icon at the bottom right, and you can choose a person that you can create an emoji for. So we're gonna choose Sophia. So I'll choose Sophia, and then you can customize how they look as well. All right, so let's do customize appearance. I'm not gonna change anything because everything looks perfect, so I'm gonna tap on the check mark at the top right. Now that I've chose Sophia, let's say I want her to be riding a horse. So let's type in riding a horse. Let's see if that can be a possibility. There we go. So now I have a Genmoji of my friend Sophia riding a horse, which is very, very fun and cool. Now once again, I can swipe through all the different options and variations. Maybe I want her to wear a hat. So I can type wearing a hat and add to it. So if I want to make some changes, I can always add to it as well. So now I have my friend Sophia on a horse wearing a hat, which is very, very cute, and I love that. And now I can share this with my friend Sophia as well. Maybe the context was about going horseback riding or whatever. Once I'm happy with how it looks, once again, I'll tap on the check mark at the top right. And now I have my friend Sophia Genmoji, the custom Genmoji that I created, saved as well. And once again, I would encourage, playing around with it and having fun with it, because the possibilities are truly endless.
Oh yeah, you have to change it, right?
All right, and that's how we create custom Genmojis. Let's take it a step further. Let's say we want to bring our creativity to life. Genmoji is a perfect way to, share with family and friends and bring them to life. But what if there's something more that I have in mind? Maybe I want to make a sign for my business. Or maybe I want to have myself in an image in like Maldives. I can do that with this. What if I'm creating a book, a children's novel, and I want to create illustrations and I'm not really good at them? You can do this through Image Playground. And let me show you how we can do this, all right? We'll bring our phone back up on the wall. An Image Playground, I'm going to search it up on my phone, looks like this app right here. It's a black app with that Apple Intelligence flower, the colorful flower once again. You can tap on that. You can see some of the creations we've already made. I have my colleague Devin as an astronaut, which is very funny. We have also Ali as an astronaut as well, very, very cute. We have Marcello as a superhero, and much more. You can even create custom scenarios as well, which is very, very cool. So let's create a new image by tapping on the new image button at the bottom, the yellow one. And now we're going to describe an image, or you can choose something from the suggestions at the bottom. So let's say we want Sophia to be, or let's say I want to create a giraffe. I love giraffes. So let's have the giraffe at a water park. Let's get a little funky with it, okay? So I'll type in giraffe at the water park. Then you're going to give it a couple of moments to curate that image that we just mentioned. Once again, it can be very silly. You can add people and from your camera roll that you have saved into these images as well. So now I have my giraffe at the water park, and once again, there's multiple different variations, and I can add and remove or change the image that I'm creating. What's really nice is that if you tap on the style button at the top, right above the image, there's different variations of styles you can choose from. So I have animation, but maybe I'm making a book like I mentioned, and I wanted it to be an illustration. I can tap on illustration and it will convert the image for me. Once again, I don't have to do any of the hard labor. So this looks a lot more cuter for a kid's novel, most likely, right? Rather than animation. If I want to look like I sketched it or I drew it, I can tap on sketch and switch it over as well. So now I have a sketch version of that image that I created. And then you can take it a step further with Genmoji and ChatGPT, and the possibilities are truly endless. And that's how we create custom images with Image Playground. But let's say you're drawing something and you want to bring that to life. Might not be a good drawing, that's completely fine, but you're like, I have some thoughts down, I want to draw something. Now, can I bring this to life and make it look a little bit more presentable and professional? Yeah, that's a possibility. And that's through Image Wand. Image Wand is a way for you to draw and bring your creativity to